Just this. We been taught to be stupid. She, we actually been taught to be stupid. What I mean by we've been taught to be stupid, the same thing that you believe in, I believed in too. Until I went somewhere. The truth is unbelievable, literally. But I can tell you something. That is the truth. Knowing the truth is in you to know it. To know the reasons why you do whatever you do when you do what you do. Because if you don't know the reason why you do what you do when you do it, you are stupid. You are a stupid, child-minded adult. Why I said it like that? Because some of you adults that think that you're adults, that's not adults. Y'all just kids playing as adults. Because y'all were just kids that had kids when you was a kid. It is what it is. That's how you don't know some of the shit that you do is stupid because of the stupid shit that was taught to you. The same stupid shit was taught to me too. But now the shit is fucked up worse. No one is taking the time out to know each other before they come together in the Creator's original name.
A lot of people are looking at what's been going on in the Senate, what with Mitch McConnell already trying to retain control and cozy up to Biden, who's been one of his good buddies apparently forever. I mean, look at this. This is one of the things about Joe Biden that you have to really kind of understand, or maybe you're starting to understand. What we start to see about Joe Biden is that Joe Biden, by doing nothing for 30 years in the Senate, by doing absolutely nothing in the Senate, really didn't ruffle anybody's feathers. And Mitch McConnell, who is, let's be honest, Mitch McConnell, he wants power. He wants to be able to get his agenda through. He wants to be able to do the things that he wants to do. You know, and if Mitch McConnell is out there and he's the one that's saying, hey, here's what's up, here's what's going on, here's, you know, and there's no one to stop him, then there's no one to stop him. And Mitch McConnell can do whatever it is he wants to do. The other thing is that when you look at what's going on in the Congress, when you look at what's going on with the Democrats, they're starting to lose seats. They're starting to the Republicans are starting to take over. And if the Republicans can win more seats in 2022, and if they can gain a majority in the House of Representatives, and if they retain a majority in the Senate, and there's a Democrat as president of the United States, then who becomes all of a sudden the most powerful Republican in the world? Whoever's in charge of the Senate, whoever's in charge of the House of Representatives. If Mitch McConnell can lead the Senate with a Democratic president, and if they can win back the Congress with Republicans in Congress in 2022, then all of a sudden, Mitch McConnell doesn't become the second most powerful Republican in the world. He becomes the single most powerful Republican in the world, and probably in politics in the United States of America. So that's probably one of the big reasons why Mitch McConnell's like, look, you know what? Don't stand up on January 6th, you Republican senators. Don't stand up and say, hey, there's a problem with this election. These electors are false. These electors are not real. We need to make sure that we don't certify them. We need to make sure that what we are doing is inviting Joe Biden, who I've already stated.
Love when you know it comes from deep down in the heart. But the truth is the truth. We were taught to be stupid. We were taught to not be smart. We were taught to believe in the bullshit that was taught to us to believe in, to not know what the truth is within each and every one all at the same time. See, that's what makes you create a social divide.
Yes, I guess that leaves me, Mitch McConnell, as the most powerful Republican in the entire world. And that may be part of his thought. I mean, wouldn't it be part of your thought process if you were Mitch McConnell? Would you want 4 more years of President Trump being the top tier Republican when it could easily be you? You could have all the control and you could do things your way. Makes sense to me.
You were given your choices to do or don't do. The will of the Creator, that's one way all day, and that's love, never hate, to always help out with no material motive, but for the good of the whole circle of life that we have.
Okay.
But we've been taught to be stupid, fucking cheap.
Stay right there.
We were taught to believe in Santa Claus and Easter Bunny and Tooth
You
Fairy.
gotta get down nails in.
And then you take the guy, then you take the father out the house and throw him in the sky as an Our Father who art in heaven,
Do you have an idea what?
with the name called God,
I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
as a better Santa Claus than Easter Bunny and Tooth Fairy.
Alright.
Think
I
about
have a
it.
nail in this one.
All we
What's this
did
one?
was switch. We went from kids believing in Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy to adults believing in God, Jesus, the devil, and some fucked up ass bull.
One nail.
It is what
So
it is.
nails represent what?
When you look at the circle of life that
Anytime
we
you
live
call
in,
me that?
if you're gonna do something about the circle going around the same fucking way that it's going, it's all because you are doing the same shit that you were taught to do here.
It's actually with her, and there's actually a few more.
The will of the Creator that I do is one way, all,
So,
and that's the
I want you
love
to wiggle,
unconditional,
let's start wiggling
something
them
that
out. Let's start wiggling
can't
them out.
explain
Let's
or
start wiggling
control,
them out.
but it's all
Oh, wait,
that
I'm sorry.
holds this thing together.
Every time you pull one out, say I'm sorry.
We've been taught to be stupid. We've been taught to think stupid. We've been taught to do stupid shit and laugh about the stupid shit because we didn't know that it was stupid shit. All the shit that I believed in as a child, I know now
What's this
why
right here?
it was taught to me.
Go
It
to
was
your-
because
your
my mom and my
side.
dad didn't know no better.
You know
My
what
mom and my dad didn't know what was taught to them. And that's the same
No.
thing with each and every one of us. All the shit that we think we know was taught to us to not know what the truth is in us to know, not to be believing some bullshit like some
I
child.
wish you said it like you mean it.
But the love
So you're
is the
taking words
key
out of the board,
to
right?
eternal life.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is since the video.
I am, I'm very,
So what do we
very
have here?
upset
You
with
see all the
us
holes?
calling ourselves conscious thinkers. A lot of y'all still
A vaccine is the world's best hope of overcoming the COVID-19 pandemic.
More than 20 vaccines are in development globally.
But as scientists move closer to success,
Possible breakthrough in the development of a coronavirus vaccine.
there's a problem. A growing number of people say they won't take a vaccine.
I don't want to inject anything like this into my body.
This is linked to declining trust in scientific experts and political leaders. Problems brought into even sharper focus by the pandemic. And fueled by a spiraling infodemic.
Anybody who has trusted the president has been lied to, and many people, like my dad, have paid with their life.
This crisis of trust could have catastrophic consequences.
Bullshit.
So what can be done to rebuild trust in vaccines and to protect the world from future disasters?
All vaccine advocates need to be more tech savvy. We have science and evidence and right and fact on our
A
side.
doctor is nothing but a practice fucking physician. LLC, limited liability coverage, meaning that he can kill or she can kill you and me, and they're covered by their legal, lying lawyer friends who become judges.
This is the front line in the race to find a COVID-19 vaccine.
Over us.
Professor Jonathan Healy is one of those leading the charge.
It has very much been a race against time. And sometimes I wish time would stand still.
The professor has been developing vaccines for over 25 years.
Now we have representatives of those viruses that are closely related to SARS-1 or SARS-2.
But finding one to fight a virus which has brought the world to its knees feels different.
I do know people who've had COVID, and it's a terrible, terrible death. It is an agonizing disease.
This project in Cambridge is about to begin clinical human trials, and the stakes could not be higher.
If we don't have a vaccine, we'll be stuck in this lifestyle of isolation, social distancing, masks for a long, long time.
For a vaccine to immunize populations effectively against COVID-19, around 70% of people need to be willing to take it.
Trust is absolutely critical. If only part of the population is on board, we're never going to bring this virus to its knees and control this epidemic.
But in the rich world especially, polls suggest that persuading people to take vaccines may be as difficult as producing them in the first place.
I want to know why did they produce them in the first place? Because we the people paid them with the money to do stuff that we didn't even want. I never said
Many of
nothing
these
about the
protesters belong to a growing minority who believe a COVID-19 vaccine would actually be harmful to their health.
Do I worry about vaccinations? This one in particular? Yes, definitely. It's been rushed and imposed on us. And I want to have my choice, and I don't want to inject anything like this into my body and into my children's body.
Some here see a vaccine as part of a wider government conspiracy to exaggerate the dangers of COVID-19. Many of these people have lost trust in their government.
Until we get the truth.
We are not going to stand for being lied to by our government, by people that we should trust. They want us to trust us, but we can't trust them.
The views being expressed here are extreme and belong to a minority. The proportion of the global population opposed to vaccines generally is estimated to be well under 10%. But anti-vaxxers, as they're often called, are a vocal minority, and their views are increasingly influencing broader society. Distrust can be infectious. A poll carried out in America in September found that only 36% of adults said they would take a vaccine when one becomes available, with 64% saying they wouldn't take one or weren't sure. In another survey, under 4/5 of people in 16 countries responded positively to the idea of taking a COVID-19 vaccine, if proven safe and effective.
In the context of COVID, I think empathy is absolutely crucial.
Professor Heidi Larson is an anthropologist and a leading expert on why significant sections of the global population feel hesitant about vaccines. She says a failure to confront the root causes of vaccine hesitancy, as she calls it, is driving more people towards anti-vaccination views.
The majority of the public that is questioning, they're hesitant, they're anxious. These are people who have genuine questions, who are open to vaccination, but are feeling they're not getting their answers, and then migrate more to the more anti-end that seem more acknowledging their concerns, endorsing their concerns.
Professor Larson argues that one of the historic problems has been a failure by the medical establishment to listen to the concerns of parents who have doubts about inoculating their children.
A lot of parents feel like they're being judged, called names for even asking questions, and that's not at all been helpful in trying to support people in their decision making and positive sentiments towards the vaccine. It's really fundamentally about trust, relational trust.
Breaking news, testing has been paused for one of the leading candidates developed by Oxford University.
In September, a volunteer from a leading COVID-19 vaccine trial was admitted to hospital, and the project was temporarily halted. Professor Larson says an opportunity was missed to build trust with the public.
I wish
A vaccine is the world's best hope of overcoming the COVID-19 pandemic.
More than 20 vaccines are in.
And shit really happen like this here, you're gonna be alright with it. Because they rolling through stepping on, rolling over through his head and rolling through and making the blood spatter with the car tire. You see it? Look, you see, because he said that he ran over the body to make the blood splash. And then he comes sliding. Good work out there. Party at the clubhouse. Cause you'll get to be. Where are we going? And the taxi cab driver come and slide the blood. Wow. So my wish was coming on my picture. I was trying to take a picture.